Today we're talking about using speed boosters with the Canon R7. Now I've wanted to take my time before making this video because there were a few things that happened while testing the speed booster. First things first, I am using the R7 with the speed booster right now and the Sigma 18-35 at 35mm, and as you see there's no vignetting, which we'll go over in a bit. Canon has actually released a statement on their specific speed booster that they made for the C70 that a lot of Komodo users are using as well. Although it does work with the Canon R7, it's not supported, and I'm going to let you know the Viltrox vocal reducer, although they haven't made a statement yet, is pretty much in the same boat. So in today's video, I took the R7, the speed booster, and my Sigma 24-70 2.8 out with me on vacation, and I got some shots out the Ponce Inlet Lighthouse. And although the image quality is pretty decent, although using a speed booster is going to add a little bit of softness to your image, it wasn't that big of a deal for the type of shots I was getting, especially with the stills. The autofocus seemed to work great, and in the still images they looked fantastic. I couldn't even really notice the softness as much as I did in the video. After using this combo for a few weeks now, one of the things I noticed, and I said it in my first impressions video, is it seems that the IBIS doesn't work that well when using the focal reducer. When I started using it more, I thought I could have been wrong because in the field it seemed like my images were pretty stable, but then when I got back to the computer I took a look at them and it looked like almost IBIS was not on, even though it was clearly on. It seemed that using digital stabilization in addition to the IBIS was actually making the images look really bad with the speed booster. Even just keeping IBIS on just didn't seem to work with using this pair. So as of right now, until Viltrox maybe comes out with some kind of firmware update, I would say if you plan on using a speed booster with the Canon R7, keep it on a tripod like I'm doing right here, and then you can get the extra benefits of using the speed booster, like the extra stop of light, the wider focal length. And right now we're actually shooting what says f1.8 on the camera, which is the next thing, as the speed booster seems to not always show the boosted light. So on my Sigma 24-70, which is a full frame lens, when I shot wide open it would actually show f2.0 instead of f2.8. However, now I'm on the Sigma 18-35 and it should show f1.2 as the speed boosted aperture, but wide open it still says f1.8. So there's little quirks with using the speed booster with the R7 depending on what lenses you use. So far the only two full frame lenses I have, which is the Sigma 24-70 and the Canon 70-200, don't seem to work with IBIS when paired with the speed booster. However, they obviously work really well when using a normal Canon RF to EF adapter. The next thing is obviously the vignetting when using lenses that are not meant for full frame. So I tested the Sigma 18-35, and of course when you shoot at 18mm there's definitely vignetting in the corners, but then once you get to 24mm you actually stop the vignetting. It's very usable, and then from there 35mm no vignetting at all still, and the autofocus seems to work great using the 18-35 and the speed booster. I also tested it with the Sigma 50-100, which has been another requested test. Although there is minimal vignetting at 50mm, once you go into like 53mm, 55mm, the vignetting seems to completely go away using the speed booster and the Sigma 50-100. And again, the autofocus works. However, the Sigma 50-100 breathes really heavily. I've mentioned that in my review video of the Sigma 50-100. So although it works with autofocus, I really don't like using autofocus with that lens for video just because the focus breathing is so jarring it takes me out of the video. But for those of you who were interested, the autofocus works, changing your f-stop works. Things like IBIS still don't work. Again, firmware updates could come. I haven't heard anything from Viltrox whether they plan on doing it, whether they plan on supporting it, but that's the beauty of these adapters. They can be changed via firmware updates, so who knows? To be completely frank, I don't plan on using the speed booster all the time because for the run and gun work I like to do, I actually like using Canon's VND adapter a lot more than the speed booster because I rather keep my shutter at exactly 180 degrees and really be able to dial down the amount of ND I need versus getting the extra stop of light. But I think there are a lot of shooters who maybe have a lot of full frame glass or want the extra stop that may be interested in the speed booster, and Viltrox's speed booster is very affordable. I'll put a link to it in the description below, and it is at least usable on the Canon R7 if you're interested in using a speed booster. So if you have any questions, any more tests you'd like to see with me using the Viltrox Speed Booster, please feel free to put them in the comments below. If you have any ideas of things you'd like to see me test on the Canon R7, put them there as well. And if you got knowledge and value out of today's video, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell to keep up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Till next time, my name's Geoff Fagien. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.